The future of AI is open. End of story.
Next, I'd like to welcome Eric Dulkeith, who is the head of AI Strategic Partnerships and Alliances for IBM Research.
Hey, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day number 3 here of the summit. It has been very exciting, a lot of great announcements. And it is very much my pleasure to be here. First of all, I would like to thank the entire Qualcomm AI team, starting from Durga, Sunvir, Vinesh, Krishna, Siddhika, all of the usual suspects who drive the frontier of AI development within Qualcomm. That's where they are. They're all sitting right here. I would like to talk a little bit about the future of AI from an enterprise perspective. And allow me to go back in time. I will structure the next few minutes onto 3 layers: a stratospheric layer, a helicopter layer, and the ground layer. The stratospheric layer is very simple. The future of AI is open. End of story. Have a nice day. No. So what does that actually mean? I don't mean that because it is currently hyped to push everything into the open developer community. It's on vogue. I mean that because this is one of the true and deepest principles of IBM as such. If you go back in time by 30 years nearly, you know and you will find out that IBM has been a very strong supporter and contributor to the foundation or the inauguration of the Linux Foundation. IBM has been an extreme supporter also of all the developments and the foundation of Apache. IBM has been and is a premier member of the PyTorch Foundation. IBM has been inaugurating the so-called AI Alliance last year with more than 150 members across the globe. A lot of developers open to address jointly together the challenges which AI brings along, not only with these benefits. Having said that, why do we do that? We truly believe that the developer community, they are the value creators. And what they need to create true value is actually freedom of action. And having said that, that means that the majority of things we are developing at IBM Research will find its way eventually into the open source community. And the same applies to generative AI within the enterprise. It has to be, and you heard that all throughout the whole last 3 days, it has to be tailored, it has to be performant, it has to be, and that is one of the key points, I believe, where IBM distinguishes themselves from others. It has to be explainable, and it has to be trustworthy. Explainable means you know what went into that model to build it. And trustworthy means, given that you know what went in, we go even as far as to cover you with our AI models with an indemnification. So if anybody is approaching you guys and you have been using one of the IBM Granite models and they're starting to sue you saying, hey, that was not from you or you had no permission to use it, point them to us and say, we take care of that. So the IP protection is in place. So, again, from a stratospheric perspective, the future of AI is open. From the helicopter perspective, I'd like to say, the king is dead, long live the king. If you look back over the last few years, and Durga has been mentioning that, the emergence of foundation models has turned the industries upside down. Not necessarily the research labs, because they have been mustering up and working on foundation models for a far longer time. But once it has been hitting the public, the market started boiling. It means that this transition from primarily convoluted neural networks, CNNs, to the foundation models, you can see that as an evolution coming from a very siloed approach. I love the CNN models. They're great, they're highly performant, but they also have, let's say, some flaws in the system. You do not want to be the one who has to create that massive amount of labeled data to get them up and running. You do not want to be the one who is then being asked, wow, that model works like a charm over there. Let's say it's a visual inspection model. Install it over here. The models have been always very sensitive to transferability. They are prone to overfitting. So they actually even get used to the background noise within your images beyond the object they should actually be focusing on. That is done with foundation models once they were introduced. Foundation models, self-supervised learning. Foundation models, context-aware. Great. However, gigantic in size. The mama. We call it the mothership. These foundation models, the first generations, they could only live at one spot, the cloud. Where else do you have the ability to have 100, 200, 300 billion parameters residing somewhere? We have now, since last year, entered the stage where we can watch the offspring, the kiddos of that mothership. And they come in a large variety, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 billion parameters, you name it. It is now possible to deploy Gen AI as a subcategory of foundation models, transformer-based models, to the very edge. Let it be edge, let it be IoT, let it be mobile, let it be automotive. And I'm very proud to announce that just a few days ago, we have been launching the 3rd generation of the Granite series, and they cover a very wide range of applications. Some of them focus on code, others focus on language, others focus on time series. New ones are guardians, little AI models that accompany your main model. We have accelerators that are based on speculative decoding. That is something IBM Research has been developing to improve or minimize the latency, improve the throughput. We have meanwhile reached a point where we have been pushing out nearly 50 different flavors of models into the open source community. Now, you can call that a zoo of models, which is true. Why do we do that? Why do we introduce such a, let's say, diversity of models into the developer community and also, of course, to enterprise clients? It's very simple. The world is diverse. The world is heterogeneous. You do not know. Your data might be in a public cloud, in your private cloud, spread across various clouds. It might be on-premise. It might be at the edge. It's all over the place. Where you want to deploy your AI model, you must make sure that this AI model fits the bill in terms of hardware boundary conditions, et cetera, et cetera. So in that sense, AI and its evolution towards smaller, more compact, highly performant models follows the trades of hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is the same approach. Hybrid cloud means from an end-to-end point, no matter where your data is, you have a seamless access. And that should also apply to the AI models because both of them live along the same mantra, data. So having said that, we also as IBM believe truly that hybrid AI and hybrid cloud are the same coin, just 2 different sides. They are symbiotic and they work hand in hand together. So that actually means, if I would need to, I think I'm pretty much at the end of my time, right? Excellent. I would like to close my speech going back again, like 30 years, and say that if you look about what has happened since the beginning of the 2000s and try to wrap it up 1 sentence per decade, the 2000s were dominated by one thing, and I had the pleasure to live and work in the Bay Area at that time. Whole Bay Area was all about what can go digital, will go digital. And then the smartphone came. The 2010s were all about, hey, what can go mobile, will go mobile. Well, and now we're in the 20s, and we have reached the point to what can go edge, will go edge. Having said that, it is our great honor and pleasure, and we're super excited to collaborate and have Qualcomm as a partner and to make sure that the relevant models from the whole Granite family will find their way onto the Qualcomm AI Hub for the developer community to literally knock themselves out and play and tweak and modify and make sure that they are compliant with the underlying SoC hardware structure. Thank you.